I'm at SEC Media Days, and I'm covering a guy named Jay Baitman. Don't really know a lot about this Jay Baitman guy, but this guy does. It's Olin Buchanan. He works at Texas. Hey, Texas A&M, you got a nice little run to the playoff last year. That was pretty fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, up until like the last 3 minutes of the game. Yeah, it was a really good time.
Well, so obviously Kentucky fans are like, all right, we saw what Texas A&M did on defense, but how much did Jay Baitman do? How much did Mike Elko do? What was that dynamic like?
I think they worked together. I think Mike called most of the play, most of the alignments, but with Jay suggestions, Jay did a heck of a job at Texas A&M. He's a great guy. You'll like him. You'll like working with him if you get that opportunity. He's a really good linebackers coach too. So he coached linebackers and was a defensive coordinator. And Mike was his background as a defensive coach, and so he's going to be involved.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say all that defense last year was just because of Mike Elko leading the way. Jay was very actively involved in what was going on.
Well, and I think from like a Kentucky fan standpoint, they had one way of doing defense for a decade. Now it's going to be a different way. So what does that look like?
I don't know. Look, I'm sure Jay learned some things from Mike, and Jay had been very successful at places like Florida. And so, everywhere you go, I think you take something from someone else and maybe say, hey, I've typically done this way. Maybe I'm going to do something. I know one thing you can learn, and I'm sure he did from Mike Elko, is just about some exotic blitzes, because that's kind of a trademark and one of the things that Mike wanted to do to be more involved in. But, they had a good defense the year before, too.
Right.
And, I think Jay, doing both things, I think he did a really good job in developing the linebackers. Torian York was a guy that came in that was really under-recruited, and Jay worked with him and turned him into an all-conference linebacker. But I know beyond that, again, I can't tell you that it was Jay that called this coverage in particular instance, but I do know he was really involved, and he was a big part of that defense, as you'd expect he was. Well, he's a good coach.
Well, and you mentioned Torian York, but it seems like he's got a pretty decent eye for talent. Cassius Howell was at Bowling Green?
Bowling Green.
And then becomes SEC Defensive Player of the Year?
Right, yeah.
Pretty good.
And another guy that you may not know much about last year, but Damian Sanford was a guy that three-star guy, under-recruited, came to A&M, and they developed him the starting linebacker, one of the two starting linebackers opposite Torian York. Scooby Williams got hurt against Notre Dame.
Yep.
Damian comes in, and he's making plays all over the field. He even stopped Jeremiah Love on a 4th and 1, a key 4th and 1. He made the open field tackle, and just played really well, and was arguably he got hurt, and he's going to be back. We're finding out today how long he's going to be out.
Right.
But he was arguably A&M's best defensive player, and that's from being developed by Jay Baitman.
So before I let you go, Olin, make sure everybody's following Texas Ags. Like if you aren't, they're doing everything A&M. Kentucky's going to Texas A&M, going to College Station. Week 3, I believe, or week 4. It's early in the year.
It's week 3.
It's going to be cool. A cool September afternoon in Bryan College Station. All right, Marcel Reed. I feel like there is. I need to know where you are, because he is among these quarterbacks who we saw in the Notre Dame game him light it up, but it feels like you still want more. Can he elevate A&M to get them back into the playoff?
Well, I think he can elevate his game, and he's got 4 new offensive lineman starters in front of him.
That's always fun.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. But I thought Marcel was a legitimate Heisman contender going into the Texas game, and he didn't play well.
Right.
So what Marcel has to do is, he has to raise his level of performance, and that starts really with reducing his interception total. He had 12, and 6 of those came in the red zone or at the brink, like at the 21.
Yeah, right.
And then I think 2 against Texas, 2 against Miami.
Yeah.
Right?
That won't cut it.
Now, those are good defenses.
Right.
But a championship quarterback plays well against the good defenses too, right?
Yeah.
So, last year was his first year as a full-time starter. So he's got room to improve, and I think he will. I quite frankly, they don't ask me, but I would have him more involved in the running game.
Yeah.
Because when he takes off, he's a hard guy to
Watch
hit.
him go.
Yeah. And you know what? You mentioned it. The thing that sticks in my craw, that really grinds my gears, is that they going to the 9-game schedule in the SEC. They kept saying, "Hey, you shouldn't have to go all 4 years of a career and never get to see every campus." And the only place that A&M has not been is Kentucky. So what do? They send Kentucky to Texas A&M. How does that make any sense? I want to go to Lexington. I want to go to Kroger Field.
You've been here since 2012 and you still haven't been to Lexington.
I've been everywhere but Lexington.
Well,
I've been to Lexington, but I haven't been there for a football game at Lexington.
Well, that's changing in 2 years, 3, something like that?
Maybe. until Greg changes his mind again.
Well, Olin Buchanan, thanks so much for joining us.
I want to see if that grass is really blue.
Oh, it's so blue. It's the bluest grass. We can't wait to see Olin in Lexington in the next 5 to 10 years.
Too.
Oh, the bourbon.
That's what I
tastes
heard.
pretty good. We'll see you at Kyle Field.
Yes.
And it's going to be hot. If you haven't been to, people, you should go to Kyle Field.
Come in early on Friday and we'll get you some barbecue.
Oh, perfect. Sounds good to me.